Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. And we have another example of an SNP Quango set up to do a particular job, failing to do it, and it's actually going to damage historical Scotland. It's going to take an area of outstanding natural beauty and plonk a whole load of bird choppers on it because why not? There's no real reason. It's not as though it's needed. It's just simply because they need to make a point about being self-sufficient in wind. Not much use when the wind doesn't blow. And in the interim, you're destroying the natural beauty and important archaeological sites. It's almost as though nobody gives a shit about Scotland's heritage. It's all to do with selling these lands off to foreign national companies to make a profit for them, that they can generate electricity and sell it back to the people of Scotland and keep the profit outside of the country, because that's exactly what is happening. Let's take a look to see why, once again, the Scottish Government is working against the people in terms of financial reasons and also looking to destroy the natural heritage. Here goes. So, wind farm plans could destroy Scott's site of national importance as an SNP Quango refuses to step in. Now, this Quango is there designed to secure the natural beauty and historical relevance of areas of Scotland. That's its job. That's its sole purpose. And you have this area, which is, as you can see in the image, quite a beautiful place, and it is of archaeological importance, and yet they're not standing in. And you have to ask why. Is it because they've been told by the Scottish Government not to, because they need to sell land there to these foreign international companies so that those foreign international companies can build the bird choppers to make money for them, but then sell the electricity back to Scotland? It seems likely. Historical Environment Scotland have been blasted by a local Aberdeenshire MSP for refusing to officially designate a historic site in the region and allowing a wind farm developer to potentially build on the grounds of prehistoric remains. The SNP government body responsible for protecting Scotland's historic environment has been blasted after refusing to designate this site of national importance, and due to the major wind farm being planned there. And it means that the site in Aberdeenshire could be destroyed by turbines despite being historically important to the country. Yes, but historically important stuff doesn't matter as much as the SNP somehow making money. What they're going to do is sell this site off, get a quarter of a billion pounds, £250 million, something like that. And that's it, a one-off payment. When these companies go in, they'll make billions, sell the stuff back to Scotland, sell their own wind back to them, as it were, and then carry on making the profits. And you've got these big bird choppers there forever, spoiling the view, destroying the ground, and the profit going out of the country. Good job. Historic Environment Scotland was asked to reassess the scheduling of the Craigdornie Hill Fort, which is located in the Upper Devon Valley. The site could be saved from developers if it gains protection from the Quango, but the Quango, of course, is controlled by the government. New evidence found by Aberdeen University revealed the area was far more significant and expansive than previously understood, which led to the request to HES to amend the designation of the fort, as well as a number of roundhouses and other prehistoric and early historic remains in the vicinity. And they're going to say, no, please destroy our heritage, please destroy our history, just so a foreign country can make some money. Despite assessing the new data as meeting the criteria of national importance, the body has chosen not to amend the current designation of the hill fort or expand it due to the wind farm development proposals, which are at an advanced stage. Money over culture. They're selling Scotland off. According to HES, the report states, we normally avoid intervening unnecessarily in the planning process or other regulatory processes where there are development proposals by adding a new designation. And this has led to anger locally, as residents in the remote Aberdeenshire area already are surrounded by wind turbines, with even more being planned. Craig Watch Wind Farm want to build 11 more generators on that site. 11 more bird choppers, and destroying the very history and culture of Scotland as they do so, and for whose benefit? Not for the benefit of the people of Scotland. For the very short-term benefit of the SNP, who can then use that money to plug the holes that they've created in the economy, but which will lead to no long-term improvement. And in future generations will still be paying off and paying all this money to foreign countries, to foreign companies. Money going out of Scotland rather than being reinvested inward. Aberdeenshire West MSP Alexander Bernett said, "I could not believe the decision report when I read it. The site is only partially protected as a scheduled monument, and this was HES's clear opportunity to protect this precious and historically significant site. It may be historically significant, but it is for the SNP government. Ka-ching." HES's apparent comfort to place at severe risk this site of national importance in favour of obtuse onshore energy targets is inexcusable. Our historic environment, our landscape and our rural communities are just being ignored. Of course they are. If you're any further north than Falkirk, they don't give a shit. They don't care. And what cultural importance will anything in Scotland have to Humza Yousaf? None at all. He's not culturally Scottish. He gives not one jot about the history, the culture, the story of Scotland. His story started about 50 years ago. The rest of Scotland goes back 5,000. Goat Skara Brae, flushing toilets 5,000 years ago. Good old Skara Brae. He's written to the SNP Energy Minister Jillian Martin to urge her to overrule this decision and help the communities which have been besieged by wind farm developments. This will be Jillian Martin of the SNP. Is she going to say to her own government, "Hey, we know you've already made the decision you want to sell this to make a bit of money, but I've got to tell you I want the idea reversed"? Of course she isn't. She daren't. She won't. She's about as useful as a chocolate teapot. Historic Environment Scotland have absolved themselves of their statutory obligations and refused to amend the designation of the fort and surrounding roundhouses to reflect its national importance because of the advanced stage of planning applications for the Craigwatch wind farm on the same site. The decision from Historic Environment Scotland is at best severely flawed and at worst a dereliction of duty, given concerns over the designation of the site that have been known for years, and that these cases often only arise when sites are about to be destroyed through development. Now, I would suggest that the good people of that area take a bit of citizen justice, vigilantism. When the developers turn up, I'm not saying that they should destroy the vehicles or that they should protest it or that they should make a point of making sure that there are a series of small fires. I'm not saying that at all. But were these things to happen, that wouldn't be anything that would concern anyone. After all, it's not as though there's going to be a lot of policemen in the area. There's virtually no policemen in the area, even at the best of times. And so, who knows what sort of strange things may or may not happen to any of the plant that's put there to start destroying this region. And I'll leave that one hanging in the air. Anyway, already the Upper Devon Valley plays host to 77 turbines across 2 operating wind farms, with 2 other companies being granted planning consent. Then there is a third wave of potential developments in the later stages. And a spokeswoman for Historic Environment Scotland said, "We were asked to review the existing designation of the Fort of Craigdornie, a scheduled monument, and to consider potentially associated settlements in the vicinity for designation, along with considering the sites using our scheduling criteria. This work included understanding the current planning situation." This is a non-answer, isn't it? This is saying, oh yes, we're, but they're not. She said, "In this case, the development proposal for Craigwatch Wind Farm are too advanced to alter the designation." No, they're not. They're just too awkward to do so. You have the power to alter it like that. Alter it. Okay, they're going to go, oh, blah, 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 and they'll moan, and you say, well, that's fine, moan. Here's us not giving a shit. Moan. What are you going to do? It's an important cultural historic site. Deal with it. Build elsewhere. Yes, but it'll cost us. Yeah, it's called business. It's called risk management. You have done all these plans without having full permission. Deal with it. Grow up and sod off. That's how you deal with it. What it actually requires is people who have testicles. Now, let me tell you, some women have balls, but no one in the SNP government does. And certainly no one in Historic Environment Scotland does. severe lack of bollocks spine. They're all turbid, aren't they? They're all, oh, I daren't go against what the government say. Under the thumb. Weak, weak, weak. And who's paying for it? You are. Have your culture destroyed so that the SNP can fix the mistakes they've made. Great. Coming up. Now, this decision, weak as it is from Historic Environment Scotland, could easily be overturned by the Scottish Government. But will they? No, of course they won't, because they do not care about the culture and the history of Scotland. They've created a massive hole in their accounts. They need to fill it. And if it does mean destroying very vitally important historical and cultural history, they'll do so. If it does mean digging up beautiful parts of the country, spoiling the landscape and ruining the environment, they will do so. They talk a good game about environmentalism, about looking after the natural world. And as they do so, they dig it up and fill it with these monstrosities that do no good whatsoever. They don't generate in their entire life the amount of energy required to build them. It's a waste, but it's a virtuous waste. Look at us. We're doing shit. No, you're doing shit, and that's different. Thanks for watching. I'll finish there. Do please hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, leave a like, leave a comment. Please share the video, and I will speak to you later. Bye.